tallest mountains face the strongest winds. They do not complain about it. They simply stand unmoving day after day, year after year. They accept that the wind will never stop testing them, and in that acceptance, they discover their strength. In life, the women who are deeply rooted in their values, who hold a steady heart, will meet storms that others might never encounter. It is not because they have done something wrong, but because their spirit is capable of carrying more weight than most. When the foundation is strong, life uses it as the pillar to hold up more than its own share. Consider the roots of an old tree. They are hidden, silent, unseen. No one applauds them. Yet they grip the soil so deeply that even when the wind howls with the fury of winter, the trunk does not fall. But here is the truth. Those roots did not become strong in gentle weather. They grew deep because they had to survive drought, survive floods, survive years where the ground felt unkind. The roots learn to go deeper, not by choice, but by necessity. And so it is with the strongest women. A woman's heart that has endured heartbreak learns the contours of resilience. A woman who has been betrayed begins to understand the subtle patterns in people's behavior. A woman who has been left standing alone in her hardest hour develops a faith in herself that no crowd can give. These are not blessings that arrive wrapped in gold. They are carved into her by the chisel of life's trials. Many think strength is built in moments of triumph, but more often it is formed in moments of silence, when no one is watching. The days when tears fall quietly into a pillow, the evenings when she must keep a calm face so her children do not see her pain. The mornings when she rises early to carry burdens that would break another. She learns that strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to keep moving with it, to carry it as part of her shape without letting it harden her heart completely. In relationships, this strength takes on a unique role. A woman who has faced great storms will not be easily fooled by empty promises. She listens not only to the words spoken, but also to the silence between them. She notices the way someone's actions align or fail to align with their declarations. She understands that love is not measured in dramatic gestures alone, but in consistency, reliability, and the quiet acts of respect that require no audience. This understanding can make her harder to win, but it also means that when she chooses to open her heart, it is not out of weakness or desperation, but from a place of clarity. Imagine a woman walking through a market. Around her, voices call out, promising her the best fruits, the freshest bread, the rarest spices. She doesn't rush, she examines, she smells, she looks closely. She has learned from experience that not everything that shines in the light will taste sweet. This is how she moves in relationships. Slow to give away her trust, patient enough to observe, wise enough to know that time will reveal what words try to hide. However, this strength also invites a different kind of challenge. People who are not grounded in themselves may see her as intimidating. Some may try to test her patience, as if to prove that her strength can be broken. Others may withdraw, unable to stand in the presence of someone who has no need to cling. This can lead to seasons of solitude, where her path feels lonelier than she expected. But even in this, there is a gift. The solitude becomes a mirror where she learns who she is without the noise of others' expectations. In Eastern philosophy, there is an understanding that the mountain does not chase the wind. It simply stands letting the wind flow around it. A woman of deep inner strength does not chase approval. She does not bend herself out of shape to be loved. She understands that true connection cannot be forced. It must arise naturally, like the way clouds gather around a peak. This is why the strongest women often face the hardest battles. They have been chosen to carry a role that demands both endurance and presence. One story comes to mind from the training grounds. In the early mornings, before the sun had fully risen, we would be made to hold horse stance for what felt like endless minutes. The thighs burned, the breath grew shallow, the mind screamed for relief. Some would collapse quickly, shaking their heads in defeat. But the ones who lasted longest were not the ones with the biggest muscles. They were the ones who stopped arguing with the discomfort. They stopped asking, "When will this end?" and simply allowed themselves to be there. In the same way, when a woman stops fighting against the reality of her challenges and accepts that she is here to endure them, her energy changes. She is no longer wasting strength on resistance. She is grounding it into survival, into growth. In love, this manifests as patience, but not the kind that tolerates disrespect. Rather, it is the patience to allow the right bond to form at the right time. She does not cling to someone simply because she fears being alone. She knows her worth is not measured by who stands beside her, but by how deeply she stands within herself. She waits, not passively, but with a readiness to act when the moment is right. Ask yourself, when life has tested you, did you grow roots or did you grow thorns? Did you let your challenges anchor you deeper, or did you allow them to make you brittle? The strongest women face the hardest battles because their presence is meant to be shelter for others one day. But if she becomes all thorns, she loses the ability to offer that shelter. So she must learn to be strong without being cold, firm without being cruel. This balance is not easy. It means feeling pain without letting it consume you. It means keeping your heart open while also keeping your eyes clear. It means knowing when to stand your ground and when to step aside. Just as the mountain does not lower itself for the wind, but also does not try to stop it, a strong woman learns to coexist with forces she cannot control. And in this coexistence, there is a quiet power. She learns to choose her battles. Not every insult requires a response. Not every provocation is worth her energy. She saves her strength for what truly matters, for protecting her values, her loved ones, and her peace. In relationships, this restraint is a rare treasure. It creates a space where love can grow without the constant friction of unnecessary conflict. Yet the paradox remains: the more centered she becomes, the more life seems to test her center. The winds grow stronger, the storms grow louder, not because she is weak, but because she has become a peak that can withstand them. This is why the hardest paths are often given to those most capable of walking them. Not for their sake alone, but for the example they set for others who are still learning to rise. In the end, the mountain is not remembered for the storms it faced, but for the way it stood through them. And the woman who carries her battles with grace is not defined by the trials themselves, but by the unshakable peace she discovers within them. The peace that tells her, "I am here. I will not be moved. And from here, I will keep walking." Strength is not loud. It does not need to announce itself, nor does it demand recognition. A sharp blade does not shout to prove its sharpness. It simply cuts cleanly when it is needed. In the same way, emotional strength is not found in grand gestures or dramatic confrontations, but in the quiet, deliberate discipline of the heart. A strong woman learns that the most powerful response is often the one she never gives voice to, and the deepest influence she has on a relationship often comes from the stability she maintains in the moments others would lose control. In the world we live in, where everything is instant and reactions are immediate, it is easy to believe that to be heard, one must speak quickly and forcefully. Social media encourages us to respond without reflection, to give an answer before we have even understood the question. Yet, there is a different kind of power in taking a breath before you speak, in observing your emotions without becoming them, in choosing your words only after your heart and mind have aligned. The quiet blade cuts the deepest because it does not waste its edge on noise. It acts only when it matters. Consider a woman in a relationship where misunderstandings arise, as they inevitably do. Her partner says something careless, perhaps out of frustration, perhaps without thinking. The common reaction would be to snap back, to meet the sting with another sting, to let the heat of the moment dictate the next step. But this woman pauses. She allows the silence to stretch between them. She lets the initial wave of hurt pass before